Joining me in the palatial confines of Studio A in the basement of CJSR, it's Chris Hill and Ryan Byrne. And they are down in the studio today to talk to me about a little project they got going on. It's called People Who Touch Your Food. And as unappetizing as that may sound, with people actually touching it, it's actually quite an appetizing little project that's, I guess, a web series, a web-based series. Is that right, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Locally produced. All right. So maybe, just so people get familiar with your voices, first, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Chris. I enjoy writing, and this was just a fun comedy series that we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. We initially wanted to do like a feature-length film, but there wasn't really the distribution for that from like guys who are of the amateur, semi-pro kind of position, whatever we end up as in Edmonton. So we decided we wanted to make it go to a web series, and I worked at a restaurant for about 3 years, and this was my favor.
Your favorite of the restaurant, or your favorite?
My one favorite chip that I called in to be able to make this there.
So Ryan, maybe just tell us a little bit, maybe how you got connected creatively with Chris.
Chris and I met first time after the Alberta Student Film Festival, which was a film festival that used to get put on by the U of A.
That was in the bathroom, wasn't it?
It was. That was really awkward because you were sizing me up.
You got placed at sequential urinals, so it just had to be done.
Yeah, and we were sitting, 2 seats away from each other, so we recognized each other and had to give like an awkward nod, and weird.
It was love.
at first sight.
Yes. Then we started hanging out more regularly about a year later. We spoke a lot of shop. I'm also interested in the writing. We'd both done short films on our own separately. Last year we both needed a place, so we moved in together. That's really what made this project go forward.
Just like Spielberg and Lucas when they lived together in a crappy house for a little while. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Am I Lucas? I don't want to be Lucas.
You're a little bit bigger than me, so
but you grow a beard.
We got mismatched features, clearly.
We've talked a little bit about you guys. Let's really get to the meat and potatoes here, where it's the series, right? People Who Touch Your Food. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, an overview of what your concept is for this web series.
It's just really about the front staff that when you go to a restaurant, the people that you meet, and you'll kind of have an interaction with them, and they'll smile and nod because that's part of the customer service, and then they'll go to the back. And things will be very different back there. They'll probably have their own opinion of you and how you wanted a certain number of carrots on your plate. And there's a lot of comedy in that, and sort of the honesty that comes out when the staff kind of has the curtain up and they're able to be themselves.
In addition, there is a season-long story arc, loosely based on real events, about a chain restaurant moving in down the block which threatens the independent local cafe. Based on something that's really happening in the Garneau area. I guess the old Bible store that was on 109th Street is being purchased by a bar or a restaurant.
Yeah, we totally incorporated that into the story. So we make reference to that in the web series, that it's the old Bible store is being taken over by this American chain restaurant. And I don't know what kind of restaurant's actually moving in there, but it is an old Bible store, which makes it funny.
Because Bibles are free if you walk down Hub Mall. Unless see that.
Unless you want a fancy Bible, then that probably costs some coin.
Yeah, with like on gold leaf or something like that. Something that's proper to give to your grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, people are starting to probably get intrigued. They're like, ooh, what is this? Where can I find it? I mean, we're going to mention it a couple times, but where can they find the series if they want to check it out?
Our main website is located at foodseries.tv. So you just type that in your browser and it'll take you right there. And it's run through YouTube. Mm-hmm. And we have a YouTube channel, which is the Food Series.
YouTube/the Food Series, And also remember, it's foodseries.tv. Do not put in .com. That's a scary website.
Is it?
You don't want to.
Did you guys find out the hard way? You're like, whoa.
It's inappropriate to discuss in public. I'm just going to tell you.
That's not something that should go on a hot dog bun.
No, it is appropriate in private. Well, clearly you get the inspiration through working in the industry maybe, and that's where some of the comedy comes from, and then, being able to, I guess, branch out creatively from that. Maybe one of the hardest things to do within creating a series like this is, yes, we need to have kind of a story arc and a setting, but it's also creating characters too. Maybe talk to us a little bit about some of the characters in the series and just how they operate within this world of the restaurant.
Well, the central character is named Paige. She's the manager, played by Jenna.
Jenna Dykes, Busby.
Thank you for remembering all her names. So she's kind of the heart of the show, and she's the straight man to all the jokes, and she's trying to keep this place running because she's been there since she graduated from university, and it's her place. Like, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Coming out of an arts degree, they end up going to a job they didn't want necessarily, but then it becomes part of their life, and so she's really trying to protect this. And the other two main characters are played by Ben Stevens and Ben Nextrays. We don't like people not named Ben to play parts, and. One's named Milo is played by Ben Stevens, who's like this awful head waiter who's very selfish and
a pretentious musician type character who's only working there until he gets big. So based on people in the
people we have heard about and read about in magazines, but yeah, he's just someone in the arts community who you might have encountered who is very self-oriented, I guess, and
self-absorbed,
always trying, and very tight pants.
Always tight pants.
Which Ben's
skinny pants.
Yeah.
And the head chef, played by Ben Dextrays, who's also self-absorbed in a different way. He's a lot more sort of aggressive and really thinks he's a genius at cooking. And throughout the series, there's a lot of conflict between them and how that affects Jenna, who's trying to hold it all together.
He's sort of like a dark version of Jenna in that she's selfless in trying to save the restaurant, whereas he sort of cares about cooking, but he's not as good as he thinks he is, and he's very aggressive against the servers who are doing this as a second job. And his character's based on several cooks that I've known in my years working in a kitchen.
And my experience with you at home in the kitchen.
I did try and stab you that one time, and I apologized.
And you healed, clearly.
I know.
So I don't know what you're whining about.
It's just my nature. I'm sorry.
Best medical care in the world here in Canada, so don't complain.
The doctor tried to put seaweed on my chest. He was from Newfoundland. I don't think that actually heals people.
I think that was a bet.